Hey guys, Adam here at DirectionTrader.com. Let's go over today's markets, what we did in the trading room, and then maybe talk a little bit about what we're going to do moving forward. Pretty interesting day. All in all, in my opinion, pretty quiet. We do have a Fed announcement coming out on Wednesday, so that's going to be interesting. I don't think they're expected to do anything, so I don't know how big the news actually is, but we are having that on Wednesday afternoon, so that's something to keep in the back of your mind moving forward. But let's look at here's the S&P. Let's start here, and over here on the left side, you can see we do have the daily chart up here. We're just really curious what's going to happen moving forward. We have these different levels here between the 60 and the 65s here on the S&P, depending on if you're looking at cash or if you're looking at the minis here. But anyway, still the same level here as far as the technical level goes. Looking at these swing highs and us holding these swing highs. You see Friday we had that sell-off. We're going to talk a little bit about it on our intraday chart here in a second. But today was a very interesting day. I was curious if we were going to continue to get a bounce off this resistance back to the downside. But as you see here, we've actually opened up here. We gapped down. Over the weekend, and then we opened up and we've done nothing but kind of grind our way to the upside here. Been pretty slow, no aggressive moves, nothing like that. It's just we weren't able to get the sellers in here that I was originally kind of interested in seeing. Going into tomorrow, being that we're in an uptrend here, I'm going to pay close attention to previous days' highs. So I'm going to look at today's highs going into tomorrow. If we can hold below today's highs, I'm going to try and look for some shorting opportunities because, if we can get it selling off like one of these past sell-offs, they made for some awesome trading. I don't know if you remember, the first week we had here, the new year, we were on a roll. We were trading like crazy. Volatility was up. And it was just a lot of trading. Since then, we've been trading anywhere from 2 to 4 trades a day. And it's just because we've been in this neutral range here. We're forced to pay close attention to that previous day's range and get out of it. And been a lot of intraday trading inside the previous day's range. So it's just not caused, it's caused us to be a little more disciplined and maybe not get the opportunities. But nonetheless, we're still trading. We're still getting good results. Just small, consistent days here. But going into tomorrow, I'm going to watch them previous days' highs. Most importantly, we're going to go into an intraday chart here in a second. Anything above it, I'm going to watch and see if we can break through them 60, 65 level and continue pushing higher from there. But if we can hold and start to see some selling pressure, start to see some momentum to the short side, I will probably be fairly aggressive with them selling opportunities if that can happen. Let's move this out of the way and let's go to our intraday chart here. It's going to look pretty busy for the most part here, but let's just take a look at what we have here. Now it looks pretty busy because we do have some rising trend lines. It's kind of an anchor chart. We do have this rising trend line here that's been supported. It got tested right at it earlier this morning in our pre-market. As you see here earlier on, we gapped down. We opened up here early pre-market with a nice push up here. As the market opened up, the U.S. session opened up, we had a pullback, but we were pretty quick to notice that, we do have this low to high, this zone here. Just like we were looking at the high to low here, it had some zone here that was holding that as resistance. We looked at the same area of support here. And as that came down, we saw it getting a bounce. And this didn't happen this morning, but as you can see, we did hit final target for this particular position, for this particular move, just this afternoon, not too long ago. So we have completed this move here, so I am going to get rid of it. I left it on here for you guys to see in this video and how we look for that. But we do have this zone here. You go all the way back to last week here. You see we opened up here. On Thursday, we had a nice rally here. Friday is when we started to get that pullback, and you notice that nice sell-off into the close on Friday. That was encouraging, so I actually thought that this pop-up to retest could possibly give us some shorting opportunities. Granted, we end up taking 2 small trades here for some small profits, which I'll show you in a second. But at this point, we have now finished this move here, so I can get rid of this. And we just had this zone here. And remember earlier in the daily chart, we were talking about the 60s and the 65s. That's what we're looking at here, this zone. To get to get back to completely bullish, I need to break through that zone. And then if we do, we're right back to the races in the S&Ps and in the stock index futures. But I am going to make sure I leave this zone up here. It's very interesting. I'm going to watch today's highs, which is going to come in right here at these 51s. Let's see if we can hold below there and start to get some momentum to the downside and make up some of this push that we had. Remember, in the daily charts, we've been oscillating sideways for quite some time now, basically, I don't know, a month. So let's see if we can go ahead and get a nice rollover here, get another chance to sell off here. Whenever the market starts to sell, you get a lot of opportunities. You guys know how that works. Take the stairs up, elevator down. So if we start to get this thing to roll over and get this thing going to the downside, I'm probably going to be fairly aggressive tomorrow to the short side if we can hold this previous day's highs. If we don't, it's just a little bit of a questionable area right in here for me. So anything in here is going to be in question. I'm not really going to know if, hey, we're going to use this as resistance, and it's going to be tough for me to be aggressive to the long side until I get up through them 60 to 65 area back to the side of the bull. So I'm going to watch this very closely going into tomorrow, see if we can hold this area, and if we start to roll over, that's going to be a good sign for me to go ahead and short. If we pop up, I need to get up through this resistance before I get crazy long and too aggressive with that. Just to show you the positions we took this morning, there was 2 of them. Remember that gap down we were just now talking about? There's that gap down. We had this push to the upside. As the market started to roll over, we finally got the momentum rolling to the downside. We took a short thinking that we could break and start that move that we were talking about today. Start that move to the downside. Sure enough, it didn't. We ended up taking just a small profit out of this. As you see here, we shorted up here. Took a small profit whenever it dropped. Market consolidated for a period of time, and then we started to rally. So our shorts were done. We didn't want to look for shorts anymore. We're not trying to chase this because the market was finding some support here, finding some buyers. So guess what? Our shorts were done. And then as the market started to rally, started to get a little push to the upside. And as we peeked through here, we took out some stops here. We did peek our head above just enough to run some stops. And on the pullback, we went long. And again, just some small profits when we popped up here. We managed to trade very, very well. We followed our rules. But what we were looking for was further continuation. The market decided to pop up and then go into this consolidation phase and then start its little push. So one of them things that money management was able to make us some money today. You see the rally did end up happening just a little bit later, but we had to go through this consolidation here. So we ended up taking just a small profit on that. And waiting for our next opportunity. So all in all, a pretty quiet day for the most part. It looks like you had a little bit of a push up here. We did grind up, but it wasn't your good aggressive moves. It wasn't a lot of good, strong trading. So I'm very interested in tomorrow's trading and what we're going to get, because if we can hold below today's highs, I am very interested in any type of opportunity to the short side going into tomorrow, because I think sellers could come in here. But I always have a but here. On the other side of this, if it does want to, this market does want to grind its way higher, I'm going to go ahead and go with that as well. It's the beauty of being a day trader. You're not locked in anything, not stuck in anything. We can go ahead and we can go with momentum if that happens to change. So kind of an update today, guys. Is going to be interesting going in the next couple days. Is this market wanting to get back on the bullish wagon here, start pushing back to the upside? Or are we finding a little bit of a top here, if I go to the daily chart, or are we finding a little bit of a top and we're going to actually hold this resistance and start another push to the downside? It's a very, very interesting time to be a trader, but I'm glad I'm a day trader because we can take advantage of either side of the market depending on what it chooses to do. The one thing I'm not going to do is try and fight it. So I'm going to wait for the market to choose a direction, and then once it does, I'm going to jump on board and take my high percentage trading opportunities. So very interesting, guys. I'm excited for tomorrow. It should be a fun day of trading, especially if we can, maybe start this move. Tell us what to do. Are we getting out of this range, or are we going to start selling off again? What's it going to do? So it's going to make for a very interesting, probably interesting week of trading, to be honest with you. So that's it for me, guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and get a hold of me, or you can leave a comment below. I am the one that responds to these comments. So you can either send me an email or leave a comment below. If not, thanks for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a good afternoon.